Honestly, I must say that the one thing that I've invested in that I'm most proud of is my music.
Yeah.
Because as an up-and-coming artist, at some point, someone had, I wanted a bigger budget to be put into the music. And my team was telling me, you need to take it one step after the other. If you invest all this now, 10 years down the lane, what would you be investing?
Yeah.
And I didn't like that advice or that whatever he said, but I'm a very cooperative person when I'm working within a team. So I agree to that. Then he now told me, let me tell you something. Have you tried to invest 10,000 of your money in your music?
Hi everyone, my name is Hauwa. Welcome to another episode of Invested, where we explore the intersection between finance and celebrity culture. Today with me, I have one of the biggest artists in Nigeria, in fact, Africa, worldwide recognitions from Mama Awards to BET nominations, international collaborations, and on stage Enigma. I'm telling you, this lady always delivers a mind-blowing performance on stage. Please help me welcome Yemi Alade.
That is the most sultry, elegant voice over my name I've heard. I like that. Yemi.
Thank you.
It's like money talk. Hi,
Thank you.
Hauwa.
Hi, Yemi. How are you today?
I'm good. It's been a good day so far.
So congrats on all your achievements. I mean, you've gone from winning the Peak Talent Show in 2009 to this internationally successful artist today, and even being a judge on the Voice Talent Show.
True.
So how has this journey been for you from a financial perspective?
Financial?
Yeah.
Wow.
Straight into it.
I'm telling you, from financial perspective, I've not been asked that question in that way before. But I started with nothing, and I can confidently say that I have turned up with something. Starting from Peak Talent Show, I had the only currency I had was my voice, my talent, and I was suddenly pushed into a world that I didn't understand, and I started to learn. But the most important thing where my life really changed was when I realized that for me to be a true success, I needed to understand the financial game behind the music itself. So I became an executive in my own way.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
So, Yemi, after realizing your voice was your currency, and and then it hit you after winning the talent show, at what point did you decide you had to take charge? Was it the first 100K? Did you have to consult, your uncle, a banker? Like, what support did you get to take charge of your finances?
Hmm. So when I won the talent show, of course, it was a prize money, and the prize money was a development fee of 5 million. So this is not money that will be paid to me. This is money that would be invested in me as per value. And then there was a cash prize of 1 million naira. But here's the trick. I was privileged to get the back end, to see the back end of how the 5 million was being spent. So I could see that they were gonna shoot videos for me. I was gonna go into production sessions, and I could see how much each thing was costing. I knew that I discovered that I needed money to invest in
And take this
this
to
my
the next
vocal
level.
currency, to
Yeah.
change it from just vocal currency to actual money in the bank.
Yes.
So when I was given that opportunity to see the back ends and the money exhausted normally, I was back to square zero, only still having my currency, but I had gained some value in terms of some people knew me, identified me when I walked on the street. But that was my first hint to the fact that I needed finances to help push my talent in the right direction. The next opening, the eye opener for me was eventually at some point, I knew I needed to get investors, or at least a label that was capable of investing in this my talent.
Yes, that financial aspect
Exactly.
to help you, grow and then boom as an artist.
Yes.
I like that. And not everybody understand how the music industry works,
True.
especially in terms of streaming. Now everything is digital. There's a lot of streaming. You've had so much online success. I mean, your video of Oh My Gosh Remix with Rick Ross garnered 1 million views in just one day on YouTube. Even Johnny is the most streamed video on YouTube for any female African artist.
Yes.
So how do all this translate to income for you?
Wow. You're in my bank account, are you not? But So yeah, the video for my song Johnny um became the first video on YouTube to hit over 100 million views online. At the
Yeah.
moment, a lot of people are beginning to go past that mark,
Yeah.
and it's such a beautiful time to be alive, you know.
Yeah.
But there's always one first, right?
Yes.
um, so your question at the end of the day was how do I monetize these numbers online? There is a system in existence. YouTube content on YouTube is not necessarily free. If you monetize your account, you get paid.
Yeah.
The more numbers you rack in, the more your royalties, your paycheck. Same also with music on digital platforms. This is why we're begging Nigerians to leave platforms that used to download our music for free. Because it's expensive to invest in the music and make the music. It only makes sense for it to
To get
bring back that.
something in return
Yes, to
in
bring
terms
some
of
money back in return
royalty.
for it to be a viable business.
Sort of like a passive income.
100%.
Yeah. So speaking of online presence,
Yeah.
you've done a few skits with your brother and some and some interesting ones with Yemi Black back in the day. So given the digital era we are, and you know social media platforms are so popular, would you say that skit making is pivotal to selling your music these days?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I think skit making is a huge part of promotion for music videos, for music in general.
For you as a brand.
For me as a brand, in
Yeah.
every way, even for any brand, even if it's not a musician, you see there's a lot of products out there, even your detergent at home. The company making the detergent has adverts on radio and on TV, and there is music playing there.
Yeah.
So it's a tit for tat, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Skits are they're very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the industry has really evolved since you've gotten into it. Would you say a lot has changed? I mean, in terms of new artists, would you say record labels are as important as they were before? Or would you say someone should go indie?
Honestly, you're correct. A lot has changed from the way it was, but a lot has still stayed the same.
Yeah.
Which is that if you know work, you know go chop. you know.
I think that cuts across
On
every industry.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly. If
Everywhere.
you don't work, you're not gonna chop. But these days, because of the streaming etc, sometimes it's a bit difficult to see some organic streams. You need to pay more attention to see organic streams. People are buying up online spaces, literally, so that they have constant streams.
Presence.
Yeah, presence. But you know, numbers don't lie, and they.
And then again, speaking of new artists, what's the investment opportunity? How much do you think they need? I mean, given your story of how you started, so what would you recommend today for them to blow? Or even to get a song to blow? I know things are
financially,
very, very high.
right?
Yeah, financially.
You need the currency of God together with the currency of your talent. But see, for instance, I gave you the development prize money that I won, the 5 million.
Yes.
That was enough to shoot a video.
But that was back in 2009. Things are...
That was enough to shoot a video and do certain sessions amongst many. I had voice training classes, had many other things infused into that budget.
You know, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes that we don't see. We just see a new
100%.
talent on TV performing, and you don't really know what they invest back end.
Exactly. But now that 5 million is what you will pay a producer easily.
Wow.
One producer can take that easily.
Wow.
Without batting an eyelid. Some even go as far as charging you in foreign currency.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow. Times have really changed.
They've changed though. So if you have someone, I would advise not to discourage anybody.
Yeah.
I would advise that, yes, there are people who are very pricey, but there are also some really talented people who believe in you, and you can develop something with them, build a brand with that person, because there's also that kind of value that you can't find anywhere
else. So, you know, Yemi, from when you started up until this point, were there any unexpected income stream that you never knew existed till you got into the industry? I mean, personally, My sister works in media
Yeah.
in a company and she always dresses well. And then people always said that, oh, Fatima, I like what you're wearing. And you know what? She started making things for them and she got into fashion and now has a label. So that's something she never knew. Yeah, she still has her work and she does that by the side.
I like
So is
that.
there anything for you in terms of being in music?
You mean like my entire journey, or in the beginning, or just however?
Your entire
My
journey?
entire journey. I would say uh, I always heard about licensing and royalties. At some point, I started receiving my royalties, but licensing, I did not know that there was a different stream of income from that. There's passive income and then there's passive
Passive
income.
income.
You know, so royalties usually is what you get paid at the back end when platforms, when your music gets played on radio, played even on YouTube, etc. But then there is the one that you call licensing. For instance, if I give you my song called Tomorrow, so every time you want to play this show, you play my song on there. You're literally licensing it for me for a period of time. So you're
Oh,
using my
okay.
song independently for a
Yeah.
period of time and you pay me a certain amount, either upfront or per.
Per session. Oh, that must
Exactly.
be really nice.
It is,
At what
honestly.
point did you realize that and how has that been?
It's been like 5 years now that I've been literally experiencing licensing, which is passive money. And funny enough, most times we just use that money to shoot more videos, you know.
Oh,
So
okay.
like we recycle the money that's coming in.
So, you know, I agree with that. Taking the licensing money and putting it back in your music videos. In my space of finance, that's called compound interest,
Okay.
where you take, you know, you invest money, take the money you get, like interest on it, and then put back the capital and not just
Exactly.
spend it.
Yes.
So that really helps in terms of investment. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
would you tell me any personal financial experience you've had, good or bad? Please don't hold back.
Financial experiences. Like in what way? Give me in what light?
Like any story of something that happened to you in terms of you trying to invest
Oh my
in
God.
something. I'm sure there are stories there.
Oh my God. Hey. Honestly, I must say that the one thing that I've invested in that I'm most proud of is my music.
Yeah.
Because as an up and coming artist, at some point, someone had, I wanted a bigger budget to be put into the music. And my team was telling me, you need to take it one step after the other. If you invest all this now, 10 years down the lane, what would you be investing?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't like that advice or that whatever he said, but I'm a very cooperative person when I'm working within a team. So I agreed to that. Then he now told me, let me tell you something. Have you tried to invest 10,000 of your money in your music? He said the day that I start investing in myself, I would feel a bit different. And honestly, truly, take your own money to do your work. You will see.
You'll see the
You will
difference.
see the difference. It's like how people get paid salaries, but they have to use their own money to transport themselves. The
Yes.
pain that they use to transport themselves, there's an attachment. So
Yes.
imagine if you actually wholeheartedly invest in yourself with your own money, you begin to have a grip around the business even more
Yes,
than
because
if
you
you're just a spectator.
appreciate it more.
Yes, you appreciate
Yes.
it more. Your every fiber of your being is towards gratitude rather than grumbling and
And
just
trying to, you know, make the money
demanding.
sweat and worth the investments. I agree. I
Exactly.
totally
Yeah. So
agree.
my bad experience,
Yeah.
that's my good experience because music is the best thing I ever invested in. And my bad experience is actually with real estate. Um, it's an unfortunate story because that was the first property I ever bought. Um,
Here in Lagos.
here in Lagos.
Oh, wow.
That was the first. That was I call it my first baby. It was a choice land on the island in an estate, and myself and a few people on our team had gotten different plots. They wanted to sell. I didn't want to sell. I was like, oh no, I want to build for my mom. So I held on to it. Lo and behold, along the line, we discovered that the people have sold my land to someone else. And these are very prominent people that we bought the
But the
land from.
because you wouldn't just deal with
I'm not gonna
anybody.
call names. Like there are people
Yeah.
that you would never expect to be fraudulent.
Wow.
But I'm in court right now. It's been 3 years that I've been in court. It's been a lot of back and forth. It's not a very good look. I have since then acquired many more properties, but this one I am very personally attached to it
because
because
it was
my
your
first.
one. Yeah.
It has no right to be
To be
to do this to me, and it says dissuade me from real estate in Nigeria entirely. But
So when you
God
said
day,
you acquired more, is it still in Nigeria or other
what do you want to
locations?
know?
Just
What do
say
you
it,
want to
but at least
know?
I'm
I
sure
have
you've
properties
learned
around the
from.
world.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Because one key thing in finance is diversifying your income
Yes,
base.
yes.
And then, I'm so shocked because, I mean, you're somebody that takes risks because people usually start from,
Actually,
the
yeah.
bank.
My banker calls me an aggressive investor.
I know, right? Because real estate is high up there. It's high risk, but then high return. Because
Yeah.
people usually start with the basic, the bank deposit, the fixed treasury bills, the bonds, and then go up there. But that's a good
I do a
one.
bit of all of that.
Yeah.
Treasury bills, bonds. I
So
do
you've
most
heard of
especially
bonds?
bonds. I've heard I've been
Oh,
into
that's
bonds for like
nice.
6,
You
7
know your
years.
onions with finance.
Of course. It's literally, so for those that don't know, when you buy bonds, the good thing is that in layman terms, it's like you are putting your money into a pool
Yes.
of money.
Yes.
And there are certain registered companies that get the opportunity to
Take that money.
take grants from that money, and then they in turn work for you and
then
send you interest.
Yeah.
So it's literally sending your money to go and work for you instead of keeping the money in the bank. Let just be sitting.
Yeah.
And
While
the
you're
bank will be
hustling.
withdrawing maintenance fee from there. God,
I mean, it's a good one because it's always good to diversify your base as you're working, making your music, performing, earning that money, then investing some to be making more money for you passively.
Yes.
And then obviously investing in yourself, your number one
100%.
investment. That's a good one. There's this popular and funny story that Don Jazzy almost sold their record label for 1 million naira.
Which record label? Because he has had a few now.
Well, I'm sure it was early for it to be 1 million
maybe
naira.
it's more. 1 million naira?
1 million naira.
Whoa.
But anyways,
I thought I had dollars.
No, naira. So what we learned is that fame doesn't always translate to money in the bank. Yeah. So at what point would you say your own fame translated to money?
Fame doesn't always translate to money in the bank. That's no lie. You could be famous and nobody wants to pay you for your service. You could be famous, or even if they want to pay you, they feel like you still need to prove yourself. Maybe you're not brand worthy. People like to affiliate with brands. That's a very good question.
I mean, I saw that you did endorsements with Shell. How did that go? What's it about?
I mean, the affiliation with Shell at that point in time was towards creating sustainable ways of creating energy without contributing to the global warming that we're experiencing.
I know reducing carbon emission has been the big 100%. Thing. Most of the energy companies, most of the oil companies are now becoming energy companies and focusing on that. So has that been a good experience for you, work-wise, financially?
It was eye-opening, the experience with Shell as then, because we went to Kenya to some really to some villages in Kenya, and we saw how some people use like coffee bean to create some kind of energy. Some people use the kinetic and static energy to power light bulbs.
Just different sources of energy.
There was even the most intriguing one for me was a setup that a young girl had created. It had to do with several rocks tied to a string, and depending on how long you pull it, it lights up the bulb.
Oh, wow.
And they were using it in like, they made like a shelter where kids could come and read.
Wow.
Because they complain that a lot of children don't have a conducive environment to read after school hours. And that's where they set that up.
There's a lot of talent in Africa.
A lot of
There's
initiatives.
A lot of, I mean, look at you sitting here right now today.
True that, true.
So, based on some artists live in the moment. Some go ahead to diversify into other careers.
Yeah.
So for you personally, what plans do you have in place for the future? Possibly something after music?
Nobody knows tomorrow. How will I know the future? How will I know the future? But music is my first love, because music first loved me.
I can tell.
Music first loved me. Music chose me before I even chose music. While I was trying to get my BSc in university, I liked music. I loved music, but I did not think that I would make it. I would make it into a career. Like my life would be dependent on the music that I make. But when I won the talent show, it was obvious that music had a chokehold on me, and I yielded. But I feel like diversifying for me is something that will happen one step after the other. Because anything I go into, I'm working on a few projects.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
let them out yet. But anything
Any
I go
tips
into, no.
for us today?
No, because if I give a little tip, it will be all out.
I know, right?
But the thing is that anything I get involved in, I like to do it very well. There are certain projects I've been working on for the past 4-5 years, researching, creating,
That's a long
manufacturing,
time.
it is. I take my time with things, and once I put it out there,
Your
it's out there.
focus, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as diversifying, that is something I'm definitely looking forward to.
So Yemi, speaking of diversification, I mean, diversify has come up a lot today. You're one of the few artists in Nigeria that has gone beyond singing English to French, Swahili countries. So at what point did you decide to diversify into new languages? Was there any financial drive to that?
Oh my days. I think it started off with French. In my music. I was just having fun, and I decided that I would do a French version of my song because I started traveling around Africa and discovered French-speaking African countries and Swahili-speaking African countries. And I just wanted to sing something that my people will relate with even more. Because I've been to a lot of countries where they don't speak English, but they're singing my songs word for word. And I wanted to appreciate them further by doing that. And that's how the journey with the journey into speaking several languages and singing in other languages came up. So I have songs in Swahili, Portuguese, French.
I mean, you even performed Latin.
Yeah, I got actually I got a Latin Grammy nomination.
How did that go?
I collaborated with an amazing female musician, and the song itself is very infectious. I'm really happy that it got nominated. I wish it won the Grammy, but I mean, the nomination is a good nod. Yeah,
I think that's a big deal for any Nigerian artist because you hardly see people branch out into that direction.
True.
So, I mean, we've spoken, and it seems you have a lot of experience financially. I mean, for you to have gone to real estate and know about treasury bills, bonds, what would you say your top 3 financial tips are for anyone in the entertainment industry?
My top 3 financial tips for anyone in the industry, for anyone in the world, would be save, invest, save. Save, invest, save.
So
save, invest, save. It's worked out for me. It could work out for you too. And the journey of, I was telling one of my friends that has a 50, let's say a 50 million goal that they want to save for towards something. And I said the journey of 50 million starts with 50K.
I know, right?
It's not by going to go and break somebody's bank.
Make the ocean.
Exactly. The journey of 50 million starts with 50K, starts with 5K.
Yeah, and you take it baby steps.
Baby steps. Don't be in a rush.
And I think one thing, I don't know if you agree, is discipline.
Discipline. Live below your means, so have some sense.
It's not everything that you see that you buy, and women are shopping.
Know thyself. And if possible, get a book. Write every income that comes. Write your salary. Write all those egunje that come in on the side as well. Write it down. Be accountable for yourself. You will now see that if you've been praying to God for 5 million, he might have given you 5K, then 1 million, then 20K like 70 times.
And it adds up.
And he's answered your prayers, but you're oblivious because you're not accountable.
You're not counting, yeah. So what advice would you give new artists? This is in terms of entertainment generally.
Advice don't fool for my mouth today. Who go advise me now?
Do you need advice?
Of course I need advice.
You see where you are.
Of course, I got here solely also by people's advice, taking the right advice.
Yeah.
Not the bad one.
So what good ones would you share to anyone watching today?
I would tell anyone watching today who's trying to pave their way towards their dreams or make their way in any sector that they're in, I would advise them to this is a financial advice or just a general advice? Oh,
Generally.
okay.
Not really. We've been speaking
Yes, a
finance.
lot of financial advice today. I would say to anyone out there watching that not to be cocky, but the gift of tomorrow should never be underestimated because tomorrow always gives. Even when you like for instance today there's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow turns to today and then there's yet another tomorrow.
Yeah.
The gift of tomorrow is that it keeps giving and the things that you could not complete doing, the tasks
You have
you
that
could not complete doing
opportunity.
today, you have the opportunity to complete them tomorrow.
So stay
Don't
focused
stay
and
focused.
always
Don't
be
be too
looking
hard on
forward.
yourself. Yes. Look forward tomorrow, but don't be a procrastinator because that's another problem again.
That's a big issue.
Where you say, oh, tomorrow will come and I say, I'll do it tomorrow.
I have that issue when it comes to planning, especially with traveling. I have that big
Get
problem.
up. Once you see you've done it twice, get
Yeah.
up and do it. And you see life will become way better. Just be a doer, not a talker. Yeah.
Yeah, me speaking of all the financial advices you've given today, I have to take you back.
Okay.
So in terms of investments, you said you do some real estate, you also do the fixed income, treasury bills, bonds. What are some of the pros and cons of all these investments in your experience?
I don't see any cons, although the only thing is
be wary of who you deal real estate.
yes, you have to be. Yeah, you have to
do
make
your
sure you're
due
dealing
diligence.
with a legit source. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Especially real estate. Real estate is very dicey, especially in Nigeria.
Yeah.
In fact, in Africa.
Yeah.
Abroad is straightforward. The property is up for sale. It's made open. There's an open house. Anybody can buy. They'll check your records. There is a system operating from your social security number where with just that number they can check your entire financial
and
whatever.
You. I think
there's
we need
also
to do
credit
better.
score. Yes, there's credit score. How you've been managing your credit card, etc. And they will now use those information to decide if truly your offer is what's
legit
taking.
Or not.
Exactly. But over here, anybody fee buy house. The person fee sell one house to 250
you know, all these adverts. I just remembered all these adverts you see on TV. Buy land for down payment 10, 20 million, and it's like 20 of you that have that land. I think we need to do better in terms of data and then, you know, legal systems in Nigeria, but we'll get there.
But I do like bonds even more because you go to bed and your money is working for you.
I know.
That's why I like bonds.
Those are one of the safest investments.
Real estate is a bit slow because when you're building and it's very money intensive.
Yeah.
And you're building. Look, anybody where you see we get incomplete building, no, they yab them. Do you know how much foundation is? Do you know how much just to build walls? What of roof?
I know.
Do you know the price of roof is the same price of the foundation. And if you're going to build like stories, every deck, the same amount you use for one deck is the same amount you use for the foundation. And like you said, cement prices.
Are you sure you're not an expert in real estate
Sister,
as well?
Look, I'm just trying to build my tomorrow.
I know you were asking of financial advice, but it seems you have it on lockdown, not just finance.
I'm still looking for advice. So if you have any business opportunity, let me know.
I mean, like to piggyback on everything you've said today, I think the only thing I can add for someone in the industry is that one thing I advise is that, you know, your life can be about music, entertainment, you know, performances. It's busy, but try as much as possible to follow the news. And when I say news, like what's happening in the economy, because, you know, sometimes based on what's happening, it influences those investments as well. There are times when real estate prices will be lower. It's an opportunity to buy.
Yes.
There are times when, you know, the government, the central banks are doing activities like trying to bring down inflation, what's currently happening. And then you see that interest rates on bank deposits, bonds, treasury bills are high. And you know, okay, this is when to put your money in. So if you don't really follow those news, you will just be buying whenever it's convenient.
True.
But you could have gotten better for nothing.
True.
So I think that's the only thing I can add to your knowledge today.
Put your ear to the ground.
So try as much as possible to watch TV about that. And you know, in addition to that, to make it easier, it's better to get a fund manager to help you with that while you're busy, you know, focused on your career and investing in you.
Yeah, that's very true. I have a fund manager,
Oh,
but
really?
yes, I do.
Uh,
It's the
uh,
only way I'm able
so
to
what
stay in
advice do you
touch.
need from me again today?
Anyone you can think
You will
of.
have it on
Oh,
lockdown.
but sometimes when people hear fund manager, like, which funds will they manage? They, the easiest way to managing your funds, your money in the bank, is to be kind of in touch with your bank manager, your account manager.
Manager, yes.
Most times,
Very
when
important.
you see an email saying Mr. Shobowale is now your account manager, you just ignore the email, you ignore the message.
And you
But
don't follow up.
yes, that's the person you need to call to ask, okay, is there any promo going on where I can
Yes, what's
save money,
happening?
get interest? Be in touch with that person.
Yeah.
And, you never can tell what great deals you'll be missing on.
Exactly. So it's obviously not news. Your new album, Rebel Queen, just dropped. Your
Yes.
seventh studio album.
Yes.
That's a big deal. How was the journey for you before the album and then after?
Wow. And so the album's a compilation of songs from 4 years ago,
Yeah.
3 years ago, and even
Yeah.
a few months ago. So literally, I've just been going through phases of myself while traveling the world at the same time.
Yeah.
The melodies there are nostalgic. The sounds I fell in love with as a younger girl,
Yeah.
and I'm still heavily in love with. So I just presented this buffet of music.
So inspired mostly from you.
Exactly. I'm the muse on this one.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Thank you.
So what should we expect? What's next for Yemi Alade?
Honestly, what's next now that the album is out is to create more beautiful visuals to go with the song itself. And I might release a deluxe version, which might have like some extra songs on
Yeah.
there. I don't know, but I really can't wait to see and feel the reception of the album.
I really can't wait to. Thank you so much, Yemi. It's been an amazing time, speaking to you,
Thank
learning
you.
about music, teaching me about finance as well. So surprising. But thank you. I had a really good time chatting with you.
Same here.
Thank you, everyone, for being with us on Invested. Don't forget to follow, like, and share.